Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Frozen Frontier. Greg, do you need the weight of that better pelt, or can we just not?
Well, I mean, it's fine. Whatever.
Okay, cool. You guys have made it back to the ship.
I'm anal about spreadsheets.
That's okay. It's probably a good trait in your profession. You've made it back to the ship. The ship is currently in an unhappy state because, someone just died.
Yeah.
His body was not recovered.
Who's the captain?
Too dangerous. This is not Captain Zaz. This is a separate ship that was sent to hang out and wait for you. Where's my dice? It is Captain Becca.
Can we use Becca to return our loot to the princess, or are we going to have to get back and wait for Zaz?
Nope, that's fine. If she's just going to take you back to the fort and then head back home, you can just give her your gear and it'll be cool.
We trust her, yeah?
That's up to you.
Well, I'll be like, is some way connected to the operation, or is she just a random?
She's been hired specifically for the task of coming to find you here at these coordinates and take you back to the fort. You've never met this person before in your life.
Okay.
So, Captain, for the record, that lighthouse indicates an unsafe harbor. There's a reef beneath the waves.
Would have been useful to know ahead of time.
It would have been nice if we'd known ahead of time.
We assumed you were the professional. Perhaps you should compare notes with Zaz. She was able to navigate without casualties.
Perhaps we should not be so antagonistic towards fine captain that picked us up from dangerous situation. I apologize, we did not give you fair warning of rocks. We only learned of them after we were dropped off here and Zaz had left. Excuse my companions, it has been a very long trek. We are tired and our manners have probably entirely left us.
She nods slowly and walks away. Grimes, you find that you're never assigned a ration of rum, and you tend to be getting cold food for the journey back to the fort.
I steal rum from below the deck then. I instate my own justice.
All right. Okay. That's fine. No one catches you, but you are definitely getting the cold shoulder from the captain and the crew. Over the course of the journey back to the Fort Wick.
Yeah, whatever.
Grimes is too cool to care what other people think of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 12,000 copper to play with. What about spell component?
Okay. So it is a 3-day journey back to Fort Wick. 2, 3. You arrive on the 30th.
2 HP each.
I imagine we're going to be in fort long enough to full heal.
Yeah,
well,
I think
let's
How many days are we on the ship?
day by day, because who knows what happens.
3.
Maybe the fish.
Oh, that's true. If we don't make it back to the fort safely, then yeah.
So 6 HP over the course of the journey.
So Neal, I speak with the captain during the 3 days. What kind of impression do I get? Is she related to the crown, or is she just a captain that's been hired?
She's just got a ship that's been hired for this task.
Okay, then I guess we won't give her the loot.
Okay.
Can I work out from the calendar how long it is until Zaz gets back?
Once you get back to the ship, you find that Zaz was just here at the fort, probably the same day that you were getting picked up down south.
Did she bring our previous requisition?
Yes, your previous requisitions have arrived.
Grimes, you have a full barrel of common rum.
What do we want to do though? Because otherwise we're gonna wait 3 months.
Yeah, you'd have to wait months to get your shit if you're gonna wait for the next ship to arrive.
We did just make a large amount of money. We might be able to get away with that. But on the way back, Ferris wants to ask some of the sailors if they know any sea shanties.
Yes, they know some sea shanties.
All right. I'll wait around for a few days to see if they naturally break out into a sea shanty. And if they don't naturally break out into a sea shanty, I'll ask if they can break out into a sea shanty.
They are offended at your stereotyping and want you guys to cycle your cams again.
Are
Except
we
for
back?
Ryan.
Okay.
Yeah, can Sean and then Greg or Nick come in? Yeah, perfect.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful.
Was
There
that
are
not
no
just-
sea shanties to be had, and you also lose your rations of rum for the remainder of the sea voyage.
All right, I work it out with Grimes for him to steal me some rum when he goes in.
Okay. Ryan, is everything good on your end? Was there a problem?
I think so. Was that just me? I thought it was just me, but it looks like Zoom. Was it just me?
You cycled your camera cycled somehow.
Yeah, Zoom crashed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're fine. We're good.
Yeah. Okay.
Walking. So you're all back at the fort. You got to decide: are you going to send your wealth back with this brand new captain who has successfully rescued you guys from your position or picked you up, but has also been slightly antagonized by Grimes?
No.
Do you trust her with all of your wealth, or are you going to wait another month to send your wealth back, which then means waiting another month to get the supplies that you want?
You really think she'll betray us? I mean, we'll just document how much we
Can we-
spent.
Yeah, if we
Sure,
document
ordering-
it, we could screw her hard if she tried to run with it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to go with it. Then the timing's so bad that we'll just have to trust her. I mean,
Yeah.
can I make a vague sort of recollection of how trustworthy she seems from spending the time with her?
I don't think it matters. Like, if she cheats us, she gets her head chopped off.
Yeah,
Or she
so
goes
what
and she
I-
has to flee the kingdom. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, but we're
So
giving
what
her
I
enough gold. that
what
she
I
could
suggest we do is we go back to the fort and we get like the captain to help us document everything that we have and what we're sending back, which I imagine we do anyways with Zaz. Like we just make sure that we have everything documented and recorded.
Right, because we've already paid her for 3 more weeks, or I don't know, 2 more weeks than she's been sitting here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So she can hang out at the fort for the day. We can take our goods to shore and discuss with Captain Hughes.
Mhm.
See if she knows this sea captain, and if
How much do we have
Trust
left?
her.
200 after this. Maybe we could pay her an extra 100 for her to bring all the stuff back immediately after she gets there. And that way we give her the 100 when she gets back, and she's got an incentive not to.
100 gold or 100 copper.
100 gold.
That's isn't she? Don't we pay 1 gold a day for a boat? What do we pay?
I think it's 50 a week.
It was
gold.
1,000 copper a week. We paid 3,000
50 gold
copper.
a week.
50 gold a week, so
like
100
8
gold would be 2 weeks. So
Really?
that'd be
I thought we
enough.
paid 3,000 copper.
Enough for her to.
I think
wait
we've
for a
already.
few days.
My point is, we've already paid her.
Yeah, we
that
paid
extra
way
100
more than
gold.
they've been here.
You paid them for 3 weeks of service, and they only ended up using the first week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perhaps
So-
we could find a way to compensate the family of that fallen sailor.
Yeah. You said that we would get, like, if we paid them for 3 weeks and only used 1, we'd get the remainder back, but we could just let them take that and use it to compensate the fallen sailor.
No, because we want them to go to Sulwick, get our stuff, and bring it back immediately, so we don't have to wait a month to get the
Oh.
to wait for the.
I mean, doesn't it have to be
get here.
requisitioned? Like,
Yeah,
it
so
would
she's
take
gonna maybe
time.
she's gonna wait in Sulwick for a few days while they find a carpenter and find a kennel master. But
Okay. So we'll pay her to do a run to Solwick and back to the fort.
So there's one small complication on this. Zaz is contracted by the crown to run these supplies, and that includes she's being paid by the crown in order to like do the finding of these supplies. So if you want, if you
what's
Why
want,
don't we just
Becca
have them
to-
contact Zaz?
What if Becca takes the money back and then brings like our requisition that Zaz can then?
Yeah.
that'll work. Then
Fulfill.
they'll
Okay.
just come back on the next ship. If you want Becca to gather it all and bring it back right away, then there's going to be an associated cost with that. It'll be
No.
like a percentage, like 10% of what you're buying. You pay her as well.
No, just takes it back and then
Hands
Do
over
we
the
really-
forms to
and they'll like we
Zaz,
won't
you'll be fine.
yeah, and the remainder of like the 2 weeks that we paid, they'll Ferris just tells them to keep that and use it to compensate
Yeah.
the family of the fallen sailor.
But if we do that, then we're gonna have to wait in the fort for 2 months, or go out without
1
the
month,
sled.
right?
1 month. Yeah.
So
'Cause
Zaz
all
will
our
come
stuff
back
will
in a
arrive
month,
next shift.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
hopefully with a carpenter on board.
Yeah.
Okay.
And honestly, we probably have the time here to like go hunting for some kobolds or something.
So is that the decision?
Okay, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so we just make sure it's all documented with the fort, which I imagine we did with Zaz anyways.
Yeah. Easy to do, and we won't worry about that. So now you guys have a lot of downtime, an unknown amount of downtime at least minimum of 20 days, maximum of 40 days before your supplies will return. So let's do the first things first. How long do you guys need to just chill and heal up?
At 2 HP a day, I need another like 12 days.
10 days.
Oh wait, I don't need 12 days. I can do math. I need 7 days.
Yeah.
I think you guys ended up paying nothing to send the ship your supplies. I think it was just the remainder of the time that they had.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to mark it off in case there was.
I appreciate your attention to detail, because then I don't have to pay attention to detail. That is invaluable. So someone said 12 days is until you're all fully
7
healed
days
up?
for me, but somebody else probably needs about 12. Like I know Grimes was low. So is William.
No, I think I just have a lot less max HP than you or something.
Maybe. I do roll d10, so that could be it.
How much do I need? Actually, I was on 7, so I need 25. Yeah, I need 13 days.
Wow. Yeah, I'll do 7 days and not even take the full bed rest. I'll just do 1 HP a day for 7 days and be back to full.
All right.
Oh, wow.
So I have a couple of large questions, and then we can drill down into what you're doing. Are you guys just hanging out in the fort for this time? Are you guys just gonna like try and pass the time until the ship arrives, or do you have activities that you would like to do that would be dangerous that we need to like role play out, like going scouting for kobolds?
If we want to go for kobolds, I'm open to that. But in terms of the fort, the only thing Ferris wants to do is like cook. Like he'll help the cook with making meals, and he wants to like swap recipes and try and like theorize some dishes and make actual like delicious meals.
So, yeah, Grimes doesn't get complete bed rest, and I think he falls back into the routine of scouting the woods around the fort. So never more than a couple 100 yards from the fort, but I do spend days outside chopping wood, patrolling the forest, hunting for game or kobolds, maybe trying to leave some kobold traps, non-proficient snares. Can we get an overview of the fort in our absence? Like, did anyone else disappear? How's morale?
That is actually a great thing to go over, is what happened at the fort while you guys were gone. So there are a few more kobold bodies than you remember last time, being up on the wall in various forms of spikiness.
Nice.
Captain Geneva Hughes tells you that there have been a few clashes with kobolds, but both sides have kind of wisened up to each other's techniques, and it's been more of a how do you want to call it, like guerrilla war situation here, where the kobolds are frequently seen at like a distance and run away very quickly, but whenever anyone leaves the fort, they're being kind of shadowed by these creatures. Additionally, once a group of gnolls was seen working with the kobolds. It looks like there was some sort of cooperation where there was one gnoll leading a few gnolls and a bunch of kobolds. It was just seen the one time, so it's unknown if that's a constant thing or a one-time thing, or if there was some sort of capture back or forth. The fort is rife with rumors on how this might have played out.
Didn't we think that Musa actually lived around this bit originally?
Well, you shouldn't be able to see anything. You should be at the fort page.
Yeah, I'm at the fort map.
Yeah, I am at the. I am.
Okay.
But that's where we originally were looking for.
Yeah, Musa's probably within a couple of miles of the fort.
So after the first 2 weeks, rather than try and help with the kobolds, because that seems to be Captain Hughes's problem, but maybe we could try and look for Musa again. Not go too far. We don't have to worry too much about rations.
We should be careful if we're going to go out on foot. There have been reports of clashes with 60 or more kobolds.
Yeah. But at least for my end, Neal, the first 2 weeks I'm going to spend resting, and I will have a conversation with Captain Hughes, I suppose, at some point.
Okay. So let's break this down to like actions you guys do before everyone's rested, and then actions that we do after everyone's rested.
I can get a fresh chain shirt, correct?
Correct.
Oh, I need to get 2 more arrows. I assume that's not a problem.
That's not a problem. I think Greg has bought you all the arrows.
Yeah, so chain shirt. You can take one of those. We got 2 of those left.
Okay, well, we had the -2 chain shirt. If someone has enough downtime to repair, I don't know if I'm skilled enough to repair it. That at some point that can be repaired at the fort.
Nick can repair it while he's resting.
Yeah.
You just lay in bed with some pliers.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can either swap it with the fresh one, or William can repair it. Arrows.
Yeah, I just need
we
2
have
broadheads.
100 broadhead arrows.
Okay, drop 2 of them.
Okay. Oh, and Grimes, Yarmir is very proud to present you with your own barrel of common rum since you asked for some rum. Yeah.
I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah. Like, I think Yarmir at some point, like, searches out, like, the barrel of rum and, like, can't pick it up or roll it to you, and then, like, excitedly makes you come see it for yourself. Like, look, they have provided. You ask, and Yarmir provides. We can all get verschnickered.
Yeah. So I think that, yeah, Grimes is much more generous with his rum rations than the captain, or I guess either captain, sea captain or Captain Hughes. We'll probably burn through the barrel in a month or 2.
You've got 40 gallons in a barrel, so go nuts.
I'm not going to keep track.
Grimes on his own burns through it in a month or 2.
All right. So let's start with. I want to start with Yaromir. You have a lot of downtime here. Are you going to try this? Are you inscribing your first scroll? Are you learning new spells? What is Yaromir doing?
I'm out of human scalps, so I can't really do much with that.
You did create one already, though, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And what spell did you create?
How empty is the son of a gun? How empty is the fort rooms now that the population has been like halved?
The third squad 3 room is empty.
Perfect. I think that I spend a fair bit of time turning the squad 3 room into a like really freaking creepy ass room filled with like arcane shit. I find that pickled jar eye of a yeti and I put it in there. I hang the scalp on the wall. I begin like drawing arcane runes into the like walls and like hang beaded curtains. I have some like incense that I burn in there, right? Like this has become my like room of creepy arcane contemplation.
Are you using the elf skull to illuminate the room?
Yes, if Ferris will give it to me, absolutely. That creepy red light is a perfect arcane.
As long as I can take it when we leave the fort.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So like basically I just do some like occult feng shui on this room and like it becomes my study. Eventually I'm gonna have to buy like a couple long standing mirrors. Maybe I'll do that. We have like 12,000 copper left. Does anyone want to buy something with it?
Feeling pretty good actually.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't really know what I need.
So maybe like when we sent the ship out, I also bought some like large standing mirrors to help make this room mine. And I think this takes probably a couple of days to like create the to create the like room of arcane occult.
At some point, Grimes will poke in and ask Yaromir, you seem pretty convinced that the squad isn't going to return.
Well,
moving right on in.
Yes, it has been how long? A month more? Do you think that these fools who were easily captured by kobolds are going to survive in the ice?
Perhaps the kobolds have them prisoners.
Well then, we are building new rooms when Carpenter arrives. If need be, when they return, if they do return from being prisoner, they can live in there. But no, I do not think that they will return.
Right. So you build out this room. I want to flip over to William before we finish up with Yaromir. You're visited in your bedroom, in your resting room, by Captain Hughes while Yaromir is like busy making this his own private chamber. Captain Hughes comes up to you. after some pleasantries of, how are things going, how are the wounds healing, she gets to the point and says, that room we had left as a memorial sort of thingy to the lost men. What is your man doing with that room? You're muted. Please speak up. Your voice is hoarse. You must be on the verge of death.
My apologies. I haven't been around the fort too much since I got here. I've been healing. Why? What's he up to?
I don't know, but it smells funny, and there's a soft red light coming from it. The sounds of beads? Where did he get beads?
I'll go and check up on him, but fear not. If it's the space you're worried about, we're commissioning an expansion to the fort, so there should be more rooms shortly.
She nods. Yeah, we spoke about that earlier. She looks nervously, like as if she's looking through the wall at the area where Yaramir's working.
Come on, let's give me a hand. I'll go with you.
No, we wouldn't want to disturb the sorcerer with his actions.
He's a strange guy, but he's very useful. We haven't had a chance to debrief yet, but I can assure you that he's proved most useful in our last expedition, and if this is what he thinks he needs to do, I'd be hesitant to stop him.
Is he placing a curse on the room?
No, I don't think so. He's probably doing some research on some of the things we found. He's led to translate the native language, so perhaps he's working on scriptures that we've uncovered.
She once again looks through the wall in the direction of that room, with like nervousness in her eyes, and kind of gives a bit of a nod. Okay. Well,
when I feel more up to it, I'll speak to the rest of the men and reassure them.
Do prevent him from summoning any demons. Things are hard enough here as is.
Of course. Well, I'm sure he's perfectly safe. Give me a few more days and I'll come and speak to you properly.
Yeah. That's all. So Yaramir, you get your squad room. Unbeknownst to you, everyone's really freaking creeped out by this place, and they're gonna avoid it like the plague. But,
I don't think Yaramir's like people savvy, right? Like after the death of his wife and child. Spoilers, I guess, if you haven't seen the requel. I don't think he really spent time with society at large very often. He was kind of a wanderer and a lone person. And even if he would stop in a city for a period of time to like read fortunes and get some money or do some research, he's always just kind of been a weird, odd duck that doesn't really socialize. I mean, he got hunted by elves for an unknown period of time. Like he's kind of just oblivious to what other people are thinking and feeling most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that just even crosses his mind.
Sure, that's fine.
I want to do, I guess, 3 general things if we're not going to hunt kobolds. Yaramir will probably, like, ask about hunting kobolds at some point, but if that's something the party's not doing, then
Grimes is hunting kobolds.
Time elsewhere.
Sure. I wanted to see if in the downtime before everyone, like the party gets together to go off and do things, if there were any spells that you wanted to learn.
Well, it's going to take like days and days and days, right, of doing the things.
I think we're talking a week.
We're either going to hunt.
It's 2 weeks for me to heal, so.
Right.
You got 2 weeks.
2 weeks of downtime, and I would like to, if there is spell research, I'd like to front load that, then back load that.
Okay, so the 3 things I want to do is spend like hours, days, however long to like begin researching Caledonian as a language slot.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to spend time doing that. I want to play with Amelie and like make sure that she's happy and have a good time. And I think one of the things that I want to do is we'll like build snowmen or something. We'll have a snowman competition. And of course she'll win because Amelie's the best. But then when we're done building the snowmen and like we've had a good time and she's off with her dad getting hot chocolate, I'm gonna start drawing symbols on their heads as I begin trying to do some research into creating like my own Gorn.
Oh my god.
I start like look at the symbols on the amulet of Tempos, and I'm like trying to begin the research of creating Gorn. And
speaking of the amulet, is that you guys decided you're keeping that? You're not sending
Well,
it
no,
back?
Well, yeah, well, I will send it back. But I was going to
didn't
go
get sent
to
back.
No.
Okay. That's all I wanted to check on. Continue, Greg.
So I'm like drawing symbols on these like things and trying to begin unlocking the secrets that created it. And so once we've played with Amelie, I've created my little like fort and tried to learn as much Caledonian as possible. I'll spell research.
Okay. Wonderful. Here, let's take a look. So that should be plus. How much wealth have you? This is the third time you've sent back wealth, right?
Yeah, so if you look at the party inventory and requisition sheet, you can see our starting funds and the portion of copper we received from each mission, ending in a total. And then you can see the amount that we've spent in our first two orders and the proposed cost of what we've sent off to the mainland currently.
Fantastic. What's going on here? How am I? Oh, can you send me a link to this sheet? Because I don't know if I have it.
You should have access to it, but here it is.
I'm just trying to work out what your current reputation is back home and back in the fort. Oh my god, this is so detailed. It's beautiful.
Greg, do you play Eve online?
I do not play Eve. I do not like Eve.
Interesting.
Where was the...
So if you look in the middle column that says party copper, you can see the amount remaining after our starting funds, the portion we got from the coin sheet, the portion of the Yeti cave, the loot that we got from the salt cave. All of this is our portion, not the total. So if you want the like total, you have to multiply by 175%, which then you can see how much we ordered each time, and then the bottom two are the cost of the proposed requisition and what's left over.
Okay.
When you multiply it by 4 to get the total?
Yeah.
That would be a cheap way of doing it, yeah. But if you think about it, that's 175% because you're multiplying by...
You're getting a quarter, so you just multiply it by 3 to get the amount, the total value.
By
Right?
4.
By 4.
By 4.
Because you add it, yeah.
Oh, right.
I don't
3 would
understand
be
what the
the...
175% is, though.
Don't worry, it's fine.
Well, 175% isn't 4 times, is it? It'd be
You
400.
increase it by 175%.
Right, you multiply by 175%, add it together, and you get the total.
Okay, here we go. Good. My notes are all making sense now. Thank you. Okay, so I just need to do a little bit of quick math here based on that sheet.
So we've brought in several million copper for the kingdom. Is that correct?
No, you've brought in several 100,000 copper for the kingdom.
Oh.
Okay, so that's...
I think we're pretty close to 1 million.
Yeah, actually, you are at 1.17 million copper.
Yeah. Seems like a
We're
successful
millionaires
expedition.
If you look at it one way.
I don't know how much this expedition cost to get started, but
How much did the buildings cost?
Yeah.
So you guys are actually doing pretty good back home. You have some pretty solid reputation here.
Is there an actual reputation?
I have a reputation thing that you guys can't see.
So you have mechanized it somehow?
well. Yeah.
Yaramir, did you ever order spell components?
I did, yeah. You can see them at the bottom of our inventory now. I already updated it.
Yeah.
I got 4 crystal rods filled with phosphorus because they're expensive. Powdered iron and jars of preserved grasshopper legs. Probably right now, since we're not adventuring, I have all of these spell components like littered throughout this room. There's like jars and jars of preserved grasshopper legs, and there's pouches of powdered iron. There's these crystal rods filled with phosphorus that are kind of glowing everywhere. There's like these pearls and like bells and silver wires. It's a whole to do.
Okay. So you find. Also, Grimes, how are you sharing your rum? Right. With
Generously.
the 4 people. Okay.
I think we will be drinking through it. I think it is a drunken, raucous party for about a month, and then we're going to run out of rum.
Okay.
In fact, I feel like at some point Captain Hughes is going to have to institute a stop drinking so much rum with Grimes rule for like the actual soldiers.
I think that's probably happens by like day 3. Is that she comes around and is like, no.
Do you ever get like super drunk and wander into my room?
Sure. I think, yeah.
I'm just
Maybe
wondering,
Grimes
does drunk Grimes get super freaked out by the room and like cower, or are you like way more down with it?
He's pretty superstitious. I think he avoids it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think even drunk he would like enter the threshold. Like he'll maybe lean in the doorway, and we have that conversation about if he thought the soldiers were coming back. But
so at some point in the 2 weeks, can I get on my feet and walk around a bit now?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right, so I think I'll eventually, after maybe a week of lying in bed, wander over to the room where Yaramir is doing whatever he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, I'll poke. I see the red light. I look up and see the skull hanging from the ceiling, and I see Yaramir crouched over reading some tattoos or something.
Yeah, I'm probably either like I'm doing one of 3 things, right? I'm either examining myself in my personal mirror and researching my tattoos, or I'm reading the Caledonian Diary, or I have the like talisman of Tempos in front of me as I'm trying to like focus on the sigils that I'm putting in these snowmen.
All right, so I'll say maybe you're not you're sat at your desk, and I say making yourself at home, Yaramir.
Yes. I have needed some space to do research.
Does it have to look so suspicious?
What do you mean, suspicious?
You're making some of the men uneasy.
I have been met with suspicion in the past. Perhaps I should set alarms. Wouldn't want them coming in to kill me at night.
I don't think they're going to do that. You up to anything interesting? And I come over to the desk and look at what you're doing. You may have got the amulet on the desk.
Yes, I believe it is within my power to capture arcane energies in the flesh of humanoids. Their living energies disrupt the flow, but once they are dead, I think I can use this to give us a greater spread of power, or at least use it at a later date.
How do you mean?
I kind of like take down the like scalp of the kobold off the wall, and I like show it to you, and I begin like describing the ways in which I understand the tattoo that I've put on it, right? And how like each portion of it captures a specific arcane energy, and how the pattern when read and when spoken and incanted can unlock this symbol and channel the arcane energies within. Like it's probably like a very educational. It's like a TED talk on the powers of tattooed scalps.
Okay, that sounds. So this will allow you to cast more spells.
Yes. By locking their power here, I will be able to cast them both from my own resources of arcane energy and from the scalps of our enemies.
Good in an emergency.
Yes, I agree.
Right. We need to speak about that. And I motion to the amulet.
Oh,
You work out what it does yet? Obviously,
I'm
it's some sort
trying
of
to.
shield.
Its true nature eludes me. I perhaps need more experience here in Caledonia. It seems proximity to the arcane energies here have unlocked latent potential in my own.
I know you're not.
Perhaps I will be able to unlock those secrets one day.
I know you're not one for the gods yourself, but it seems that Tempos or whatever god is within that thing has chosen you for it, and I'm all right with that. But I can't not mention it to Captain Hughes.
I see no reason why mentioning that we found powerful item would be problem.
Do you mind if I borrow it for the afternoon?
Sure. I will continue research on my own tattoos today.
Thank you. So I take it, and do I feel any different upon picking it up, Neal?
No.
Okay, so I take it and pocket it, and I say, I'm almost feeling up to it. I thought maybe we could, have you had the rumors of the men saying that they've seen some gnolls with the kobolds when they've been patrolling?
Who are you asking that of?
Yaramir.
Oh, I'm sorry. Repeat that. I thought you were talking to Neal.
Have you heard the rumors from the men that some of the kobold patrols have been accompanied by gnolls?
No, I had not heard this. It's disturbing.
Yeah. I think whilst the kobolds might be Hughes' problem, I think maybe we could help by dealing with the gnolls. Perhaps Musa or Bakasa is around here. Maybe when I'm feeling up for it, we could make for another search.
Yes, I think this is good plan, William. I am happy. I want to alleviate the burden of these people here at Fort.
All right, well, I'll probably need a few more days, but prepare yourself to head out.
I will do this.
All right. And then I'll go and speak to Captain Hughes at some point as well, Neal, but if you want to switch to someone else.
Sure, let's quickly check in with Ferris. Ferris, what's going on with you, generally speaking?
I mentioned I wanted to cook, right? So what's the cook's name again? It's Jonathan?
No. David.
Yep.
David.
Nope.
Yep.
It's David.
Okay.
David.
David.
So yeah, it's like he's probably one of the easier people Ferris has had to work with. Like we've had some conversations before in previous sessions, and he was like not so much chill with elves, but kind of understanding of there being that sort of cultural difference. Less of a dick about it than most people that Ferris has run into.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he probably takes that opportunity to expand on his cooking skills, but also like it's one of the few people that I think he finds he's able to tolerate being around for an extended period of time in the fort.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at first he kind of like plays nice, and after a few days he and David are constantly arguing about whether or not this recipe would work or whether or not this ingredient would be better with that.
And I think this actually works really well with David. He is kind of a social outcast here.
Mm-hmm.
The administration, the officers here are not super happy with him because he's so chummy and
Right.
like he's been a lifelong soldier. You get the story out of him. I don't know if you've heard this story from him before, but he was born in Solwick to a merchant and spent much of his early life on the road, on ships, and in foreign countries. He spent so many of his formative years abroad that he actually has a bit of an accent and pronounces his name instead of David as David. He joined up with the army when he was 18 and's been like promoted and then demoted and then promoted and then demoted and promoted and demoted so many times that like he's just now permanently a cook. He will never be promoted again or given any further responsibility. He's a good soldier. He's got his shit together, but he's also like a troublemaker, so he's forever stuck as a cook. While he's skilled in many regions, he has serious discipline problems and drinking problems that prevent him from being moved up the chain of command. He volunteered for this expedition when he was drunk and showing off in front of the boys, and then kind of just like woke up and realized that like this is now his job. Like he just kind of was drunk and volunteered, and then whoops, the next day, this is not what I'm doing.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. He ended up pleading not to go out to Caledonia. Please don't take me away from my daughter. It's cold there. It didn't help, and he ended up getting like 10 lashes for his drunkenness and incompetence, and sent on the mission anyway. So that's his backstory.
All right, I think Ferris tries to offer sympathies as much as Ferris's cold, callous heart can manage.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't come off as sincere, though he makes an effort to make it seem so. But yeah, I think they probably just spend that time cooking, swapping stories. Ferris probably tells him a little bit of like Ditchwater, where he grew up, and how seems like it doesn't matter where you come from, it always manages to be a shithole.
Yeah. Ditchwater, huh? What a shitty place. Sounds awful. Why would anyone name their town Ditchwater?
A very honest man.
Is he Matavan?
No. Neal just is bad with accents. Do not look too closely.
Neal can do one accent.
Sort of. Maybe, on a good day. Right.
To be fair, I can do 0 accents.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, my Ferris voice is literally just me, but more nasal.
Yeah. We're all definitely professional voice actors here.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Grimes, is there anything that you wanted to do before we get a bunch of spells for Yaramir?
Yeah, Grimes is spending this week stalking the woods. So alone. I never venture more than probably alone. Does the fort send patrols out?
Yes, they do continue to patrol the woods constantly.
Okay, well, Grimes is probably alone doing similar things. I never venture more than 300 yards from the fort, but I am searching for signs of kobold or knoll traffic. And yeah, practicing moving silently and undetected through the snow.
Okay.
And attempting. Do I find any signs of kobolds?
Well, how long is this? Is this like for a month you're doing this, or?
I think we're skipping a week, but for that whole week, I think I spend probably my days, probably a couple hours wandering, stalking the woods, a couple hours drinking. Killing time. So
on day 6, actually, you're stalking the woods. Can I get a perception check from you as you stalk the woods by yourself?
Nope. I'm distracted. I'm so focused on like putting one foot in front of the other and like balancing the snowshoe as to not leave a huge imprint.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, you take a step.
Brushing the snow behind me.
You take a step and the ground gives way beneath your feet. Give me a saving throw versus death as you fall into a pit trap. Is that a pass?
I do not fall. That's a
okay.
Pass.
So the ground gives way. You scramble. You manage to barely hold on to the edge of this like 5x5 pit as it just like tumbles down. You can see like little sharpened sticks in the 8-foot pit.
This isn't my pit trap, is it?
No, this is not your pit trap.
That would be funny.
I'm also trapping these woods to try and catch kobolds, but
right. But you've got other sorts of traps going on, and this is like this is someone else's pit trap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god. One of like the days I'm just waiting for in D&D is when somebody sets up a trap, forgets about it for like 3 months, and then later on I remember it and they step into it and kill themselves with their own trap.
That would be beautiful. And frustrating.
Player-assisted suicide. I love it.
I quickly look around to do any kobolds come. No one saw my shame.
No one saw your shame, and there's no kobolds adjacent. No, you're fine.
I take some time to inspect the pit trap, maybe learn some things from it.
Well, you have learned that the kobolds can definitely make traps, and it wasn't too terribly deep. God knows how long it took the kobolds to actually dig this pit in this snow. They're not big creatures. Mm-hmm. Maybe it wasn't even a kobold. I don't know. But it's sharpened sticks at the bottom. You feel like this fall probably would have done like D8 damage to you, D10 damage to you, something like that.
That would have been a bummer.
Yeah. Well. All right.
I carry on.
Okay. The rest of the week passes uneventfully for you. So let's flip back over to Yaramir. And you got some spells you want to learn, buddy?
Sure. Let's just start filling in this sheet here. So, let's start. Let me pull this down here so that I can look at both and make rolls. Let's just start with all the ones that I haven't tried yet. So, how many days do we have of learning spells?
You have up to 2 weeks, but I think you spent a few of those days doing something else. So how many days would you like to devote to spell learning?
If I devoted 2 solid weeks to Golemmancy and playing with Amelie and reading Caledonian, could I master the language?
Probably not in 2 weeks, no.
Okay.
You would definitely need more bits of their language. I think the biggest problem is that you have insufficient samples to master the language. You know,
Okay.
like you might be able to piece these things together pretty well, but there would be a lot of words you would be unfamiliar with.
Okay. So I feel like I get stumped fairly quickly in the Golemmancy, unless, I don't know, I need to make some checks or maybe do some other stuff. That's a long-term project, so maybe I only spend like 2 days doing that. And I probably spend 2 days creating occult feng shui, and we'll say like we'll say a week of occult feng shui, Golemmancy, and like trying to romance Alicia and playing with Amelie.
All right. Okay. And then that's 7 days of learning.
Spell learning.
Fantastic. So why don't you pick 7 spells and we'll make some checks.
Let's do spell 1, a ring around each segment of my ring finger on the left hand.
And what level are you, by the way?
I am level 4.
Okay, so you can learn up to 2nd level spells.
Yes.
Okay.
That is a pass.
But it is a fail.
Okay.
It is a too high of a level.
Sure. I tried it and didn't learn. So let's go to spell number 4. This is a set of lines on the back underside of my arms and down to the sides. And this is a pass.
Yes, you learn a spell. It is Murdoch's Feathery Flyer.
Ooh. Interesting.
Is that a real spell, or did you make
That's
that
a
up?
real spell. Huh. I mean, as real as any of these spells are.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then we'll move on to number 9, which is a round shield on the back left shoulder blade, wreathed in flames and water droplets.
Ooh, sounds so nice.
That is another pass.
But it is also a spell that you cannot learn.
All right.
Beyond your ability.
So that's 3. So let's go to my wonderful butt, where there is a serpent coiled around a cylinder on my left butt cheek. That is a pass.
And it is too difficult for you.
Okay. So let's go to my chest, where there's a swirl of a candle flame on the front left shoulder blade.
Okay.
And that is a pass.
And that is also too complicated for you.
Okay, we got 5. We'll go to the tentacle spiraling up my left leg. Pass again.
Wow, you're passing all these spells that are way too high level for you.
And that's the way it goes. Let's see. I only have 2 left, and we have quite a number that I haven't done. So let's see. Let's do a hand rising from the outside of my right foot and grabbing my ankle. Spell 30.
That one's totally raised dead. Don't do that.
That's a pass.
You learn a spell.
Oh shit. Guess not.
Suck it, William.
It is Maximilian's Earthen Grasp.
That's a shit one though.
Fucking sick spell. You don't know what you're talking about.
And then
Yeah, I do.
I will do spell number 35. Decaying leaves behind the ears.
Ooh.
And that is a fail.
Okay. All right then. So you gain 2 spells: Murdoch's Feathery Flyers and Maximilian's Earthen Grasp.
Yes.
I don't remember the feathery flyers one.
It's probably not a player's handbook spell. I think it's something else.
Yeah, I guess not. It's
Okay.
game with magic.
Fantastic. So
Nice.
I think we've
So I
passed
wanna-
2 weeks.
No, I want to speak to what's her name? Hughes.
Hughes. Okay.
Yeah. So I need to go
Go
like
for it.
debrief. Okay, so I go into our office like I usually do. I think we've got a bit of a thing where we drink whiskey together or something like that. And I'll pull out some items. So I pull out the map that we got from the Salt Cave that's written in Caledonian, and got the Yaramir might be able to translate the names of those towns now. But yeah, it's got 3 towns on there. And I pull out the Amulet of Tempos as well. I'll say, Captain Hughes, I thought maybe I could debrief you over my our last expedition.
She welcomes you into the room, sits you down by a fire, or I guess sits next to you by a fire, and listens to your story.
So yeah, I mean, we wouldn't have to roleplay the whole thing if you don't want. But I explained to her that we landed at the lighthouse, and then we trekked. I show her on our map to here, and I say this is a town named Saltport. It seems mostly intact, aside from a couple of unsavory spirits. But
Explain unsavory spirits. Is this an actual town we could move our people to?
Yes. Yeah, it is. There's intact houses. Some of the roofs may need some work. There's a keep. There's a dock.
These spirits, she says apprehensively.
It's just the one. It's a ghost of some sort. I'm not sure how we'd kill it. I think Yaramir can damage it, but our swords seem to be ineffective.
Her interest in this fort immediately drops, or the town. I see.
No, it would be foolish to write off the whole place due to one thing. I think.
Yes, that's right. We should just go move in with the spirits.
No, but if the plan would be to move there, I think we could clear it out. We'll find some way of dealing with it.
Well, if you can find a way to deal with it, then we will consider investigating it further for this purpose, but I'm not going to send my men into haunted ghost towns.
Well, I think the larger problem is that the natural wildlife down there seems to be a lot more dangerous than it is up here. It's more to worry about than kobolds. We were attacked by some sort of snow monster, an owl bear, some set of larger gnolls.
I think I would have laughed at you a month ago or 2 months ago about being attacked by snow monsters, but we've seen some strange things up here too.
Well, let me finish my tale, and you'll hear some more. So then I explained from, you know how there was the markings on the map of like a mine. We travelled up the side of the mountain, and we found this salt mine, where we were attacked by some sort of automated guardian made out of the salt itself. When we killed it, we made our way into the mine and found a preserved body, along with a book.
Fully preserved body?
Yeah, the temperature in the mine was magically enhanced, I believe, to be a lot warmer than anywhere else on the whole place. And the air is very dry because of all the salt, so I think that's preserved the body. The journal that we found, Yaramir translated it, and it's given us some insights into, I don't know, the life in this town. I believe it was called Saltport before. They seem to be they just celebrated the ascension of a new queen, and they describe it as a sorcerer queen. I'm not sure, but it seems that shortly after that is when whatever happened here happened, and it seemed to happen quickly. The men that were outside the cave when it happened froze to ice, and the ones still inside the cave were kept alive by the magical enchantments, only to watch their friends turn to frozen statues outside while they starved to death.
Sounds like a very terrible sorceress queen.
Yeah, well, I don't know if the queen's to blame, but it seems at least a coincidence. It'd have to be a powerful sorceress to freeze over a whole continent, though. Regardless, though, we found this as well, and I pull out this map of, like, the same area, but it's all green now. And there seems to be, there's a couple more things marked on here. There's this town, this tower down here, and then another town down there. So I'm thinking the next time we head out, we'll head to one of them. So we've definitely got goals. But we also found this, and I point to the amulet. This was inside the walls of the salt mine. I think it's what was animating the guardian and keeping the place warm. Yaramir detected it, hidden beneath the salt. When it seems to be marked with engravings of tempos. When
You didn't send this back?
Well, when we were making our way back to the lighthouse to the ship, we were attacked by an owlbear. I don't know if you've ever seen one of them before, but they're quite a horrendous sight. And it all but disemboweled Faris. And Yaramir made a heroic effort to stabilize him before he bled to death, fully exposing himself to the owlbear, which went to maul him. And as if the Hand of Tempos himself stayed the owlbear's attacks and protected Yaramir from harm, allowing me time to catch it and put it down before it killed him.
My mother had an owlbear head mounted on the wall of our dining room. I believe if an owlbear went after your friend Yaramir, he would be dead.
Exactly. This is what I mean. I swear to you that it was as if Tempos himself stood in between the blows. I'm no cleric, but it seems to me that this amulet, or whatever this represents, seems to have found its way to Yaramir, and Tempos seems to have smiled on him.
So you don't believe the story of the gods cursing this continent anymore?
Well, gods can change their mind as men, perhaps. Maybe it sounded like when this was first frozen, it was a lot colder than it is now. So maybe the gods
colder than now, right? Right.
Yeah, the stories in the journal suggested that the people froze over almost immediately. So perhaps the gods have changed their mind, or perhaps it wasn't the gods at all. But either way, whilst this, and I hold the amulet up, certainly would be a prize to send back to Princess Sela, and it might even go a long way to convincing the clergy that the land is no longer forsaken. I wouldn't want to deliver it without the accompanying story, and I'd want to do it by hand. So I think for now we'll keep hold of it, where it seems to be of use of Yaramir, but eventually, of course, we'll return it to the crown.
She nods, accepting your story.
How have things been going with the kobolds?
Slow. Things have turned into a bit of Cold War, no pun intended. We keep to our area, we go out to get what we need, but they're present. They've been laying traps around the keep. I have already sent word back asking for more men. And if
Good.
they arrive, your friend's little voodoo hut will have to change.
Yeah, well, like I said, we'll hopefully be building some more rooms. Although I admit, in the meantime, it'll be needed. Some of the men told me stories that you'd seen gnolls spotted with the kobolds.
Just the once.
Well, we've got reason to believe that there might be a stronghold of gnolls nearby. So whilst I'm not sure I can help with exterminating a whole community of kobolds, maybe the gnolls are more in my wheelhouse. I've got some experience with them now, and I think we might head out looking for them shortly.
So be it.
All right. Well, we haven't lost any more men then?
She shakes her head. Thankfully, no. We have been a little more careful. And with you ranging elsewhere, our need to patrol a greater area has diminished.
Yeah. Well, I don't think kobolds could really attack the fort, which is another reason why I'm eager to get rid of any cooperation with the gnolls, because they might have more luck if they had gnolls helping them.
The kobolds themselves do not pose a threat to us here. And to be honest, I don't think the gnolls do either. Maybe if they threw themselves at us and wasted every last drop of their blood, they might be a threat. But I don't.
Yeah.
There's no reason for them to risk their entire lives on that.
Well, I was thinking that clearing the area was important if we were going to mount any serious colonization attempt. But I really believe that perhaps Saltport might be the better location for such a thing. If spirits excluded, of course. There's already built houses there, so men would be able to be brought from the mainland and housed immediately. And there's even a keep if we were to bring some sort of local lord to rule over the place.
You're getting a little ahead of yourself there, William. You can't think about colonizing while there's still ghosts haunting the areas that you want to colonize into.
Perhaps. I've become accustomed to dealing with dangers quickly in the last few months.
Well, life still moves slowly.
Have we had any success planting, growing anything here?
No. No one's even tried.
Shall
Ground is
we
frozen
try?
solid.
Because I think
You are more than welcome to attempt to garden. I would be happy to clear, assign you a
I know
patch
what
of
to buy
ground.
with our money. Can we buy? Can we roll back in time and say Yaromir bought like 7,000 copper worth of herbs and soil to make his little mini garden thing that he's been talking about?
Yeah. We can go ahead and say that. My question is, how are you going to keep it warm so it doesn't freeze and still get enough sunlight to grow?
It's gonna be in the fort, right, when we make the extra rooms, because we'll have an extra room for just nothing. And then continual light is a bright as sunlight light. Like we discussed previously, and so that can work as sunlight, and then the heat from
plants need sleep too, right? You can't just douse them in light all day long. Any one of you guys growing things in your house?
I don't think plants need to sleep in the dark, Neal. They haven't got eyes.
Well, I know they don't have eyes, but isn't there? I think it would be odd if. Can you just turn lights on all day, 24 hours? Plants don't need any sort of like.
I haven't no. You'd have to look that up, but that'd be like, do plants need
Can
night?
they grow in
As
sunlight?
I'm listening, I was muted.
It says most plants don't need dark.
I'm pretty
according
sure
to Twitch
that
chat, but
people grow like weed in their attics with lights on all the time, right?
Yeah,
I don't know enough about growing weed in attics, but do you leave the lights on all the time?
No,
I assume so.
So the day-night cycle will
Most
signal
plant-
the plant to flower or not.
Most
Right,
plant
so they
species will grow fine under continuous light, is what I'm finding from a Google search.
Yes, and then typically when the light, but they'll just keep growing. So if you if you've got crops that you're growing indoors, you'll typically decrease the light cycle to trigger them to flower.
Yes,
Or
but
fruit,
you could also have them grow and then just go through like.
I mean,
you could
honestly,
cast
if
it,
it's really a
uncast
big
it.
deal, like I can cast continual light and put a curtain over it for
Yeah.
dark cycles, and then recruit Amelie to like grow flowers. Right? There's a bunch of herbs and stuff here, but then there's also like pretty flowers that are hers, and like she can be my throw the curtain over it girl.
Okay. Yeah. So so it seems like some plants need at least a certain amount of darkness in order to bloom. Other plants don't really give a shit. So that'll
Yeah,
work.
so-
That's fine.
Yeah, so they
Great.
grow fine. It's flowering that needs darkness.
Yeah.
So then I say, well, my friend Yaromir's commissioned some soil and some herbs from the mainland, so we're going to give it a go. I think if we are to plan any real colonization attempt in the future, being able to farm would be a priority.
She pats you on the head, kind of condescendingly. Sure, William. You colonized this continent. By the way, who wants to come and live down here? Because as soon as my tour of duty is up, I'm never setting foot on this godforsaken place ever again.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that. I thought maybe we could offer it as an option to non-violent criminals.
Send all the criminals to live in the frozen wasteland?
Save some money in jails. So
Kind of seems like a fate
they're
worse than
exiled from
death, you
Drakkis.
know? I think
no
I would
one-
rather stay in prison than have to eke out a living down here.
Perhaps. Not everyone, though.
Well, bring it up to Sella.
I will do in the future. All right. Well, I need to practice my sword hand. I shall see you around. And for the last remaining couple of days while I heal up, when I level up, I'm going to get mastery in longsword. So I think it's important that I maybe I'll train with the men like one at a time.
You'll
probably
yeah. You probably
10
spot
minutes with
Ferris
one.
too. He's got to do the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah, right.
We're both training to become blade masters.
Is
Yeah, I
there
suppose we'll
anything
train together.
else that we need to do before your 2 weeks are up?
I don't think so.
No, we might want to do a break before we move on.
Yeah,
though. It's been
that's
over
what
an
I was
hour.
gonna do. Yeah.
If I have the chance, I would like to go down to the beach where Zaza's ship comes and docks and get a bunch of clay. Like just put it in my pockets and stuff. And then I want to spend like one of my days with Amelie, like building clay things, and she can build with it like you know, little bears or potted or like, you know, clay pottery or whatever for her, and then I'm gonna make like hand sculptures.
She builds little tiny kobolds.
Sure, great.
Yeah.
She's awesome. She's gonna turn into like the biggest, baddest warrior ever.
Yeah, and you notice like once she's built her small army of like 12 kobolds, she gets like sharpened sticks and puts them in the snow and starts like putting the clay kobolds on little sticks. And just kind of like spikes them around the kitchen door.
Great.
Oh, God.
Yes. That's awesome. She's going to like lead the world's armies one day.
One day. All right, so why don't we take our break, and when we come back from our break, we will move on from your period of rest while you guys look for Musa?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, see you on the other side of our break. Bye-bye.